Well, as you know, we've been looking at our calling as a church. We've been talking about our calling as far as being a church called to worship. We've been talking about being a church that's called to discipleship, loving God and loving others in such a way that points to our following and our devotion to Jesus Christ. Last week we talked about what does it mean to be a church that is called to renew culture, a culture that is dark, a culture that is dying and in decay. What does it mean to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world? Well, we're going to wrap up this sermon series, We Are Called, this Sunday by talking about what does it mean to be a church that reaches its community. A church that has been positioned in Fort Lauderdale, in South Florida, for such a time as this. And we don't have the time, I wish we had the time, to highlight all of our outreach ministries, and we will take the next few months to highlight our outreach ministries. But one of the ministries in particular that I want to highlight this morning is a ministry by the name of Avondale. It's our Avondale ministry. And you might have heard of Avondale, seen it on a bulletin, heard us mention it. Avondale's a neighborhood. It's not just a program. It's a real neighborhood. Avondale's a neighborhood in West Pompano that we adopted about 6 years ago. It's one of the most underprivileged neighborhoods, not only in our community, but in our country. When you look at all of the things going on in that neighborhood, we decided, along with One Hope Ministries, to partner with this neighborhood to say, no, not on our watch will this neighborhood stay the way it is. Not on our watch as a church will we just allow it to stay on the outskirts, which we'll talk about in a little bit in our sermon this morning, but we are going to be a church that dives in. And we actually, in conjunction with Avondale, we have done everything from after-school programs to sports programs on Saturday to after-school mentoring to just also bringing the students here, bringing the kids that live in that community here on Sunday morning to let them know that you are a part of our family. You are a part of our community. You are a part of what God is doing here at Coral Ridge. The Light program in particular is a program that we partnered with One Hope. One Hope opened up a charter school. As you know, a charter school is funded by the state, and One Hope opened up a charter school primarily to meet the needs of those families living in Avondale. Well, because of the state says you can't mention Jesus at school, we said we're going to open up a Light program, and they're going to come after school to Coral Ridge where they can hear about Jesus. And they're not only going to learn about math and writing and reading, they're also going to learn about Jesus. We have about 50 children that are part of that community and part of that charter school that come over Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, right on our campus, where we show 50 students the love of Jesus Christ and let them know that there is a God. There is God and that we love Him. But one person, there's a lot of people, and I wish we had time to highlight all of the people, but one person in particular that early on stepped up to the plate and said, Avondale's going to be my thing. God has uniquely wired me, God has uniquely designed me to embrace this ministry, is one of our deacons, and I want to bring him up for this morning's spotlight. That's John Hicks. Come on up. Is that on now?
Awesome.
Is it on?
Awesome. John, as I just mentioned, you're a member here of the church. You're a deacon. You're involved in Avondale, but what in the world does that mean? How are you involved in Avondale?
It's a lot of pressure coming up here because his swag's always on point. You know what I mean? And I ironed this shirt today. I'm a mess. Actually, if I could really quickly, about 8 years ago, I was at a really broken place in my life. My marriage had fallen apart. I just left my career, finished my career as a firefighter paramedic after 30 years of the same city. And I had struggled with addiction at times, and I was really at the bottom. I was in and out of church, but mostly out of church for almost 20 years. But I've been a Christian for 37 years, which really just means I've been goofing this whole thing up longer than a lot of you guys. And God broke me through that season of my life, and in a couple years, He patiently and gently, and the way He does, the way He loves us, brought me through it. And as I came out of it, I really felt a desire to serve Him, and I wasn't sure what that was going to look like. And once I got to Coral Ridge almost 5 years ago, I met Dwayne Meller, and he told me about this little community we have. And I thought, one of the questions I'd always ask God was, I've been so broken at times, who am I going to serve? Like, how can you use me? And the answer I kept getting back was, I use broken people to reach broken people. And that just all clicked. And so over the last almost 4 years, I've been involved in Avondale and just trying to find how we can meet the needs of the community and really create relationships.
Tell us a little bit, why is this work for you so important?
Well, for one, the first thing is God uses it to bless me. He uses it to really speak into my life. But also, for me, it's also about trying to reach across the cultural divides in our community and our nation that just run so deep, whether it's racial or socioeconomic or the music we listen to, the things we do. There's such a divide, and it's just God put it on my heart to really try to reach people that are different from me. And what I keep finding out is that they're really a lot like me. They really are.
Now, I know you could probably stand up here because I've heard them myself for hours and talk about incredible stories, but is there any story in particular that you would like to share?
I had a feeling you were going to ask me that, and what I'd really like to do is I got a few kids back there that come to church all the time, and I wanted them to come up. Come on, you guys. Come on up. I mean, these are my kids. These are your kids. I'm very blessed. All right, you guys. Come on, hang over here. Where are you guys going? We weren't sure what was going to happen. Come here, you guys. Hey, listen. Pastor, if I could, I'd really like to say something to these guys because I don't get a chance to speak to them.
The floor is yours.
I'm hoping they'll pay attention right now. All right, listen. Okay. All right, listen up. Shh. Listen up. All right, there's something I want to say to you guys. All right. Of all the things, Durante, listen up. Of all the things I am, one of the most important things I am is I'm a father, and I have two incredible daughters. God has blessed me with. And I look at every single one of you guys, and I see just so many beautiful smiles, so many beautiful hearts. You're so talented. You just have such an exuberance for life. And every single one of you, it would be my honor. I would be so proud if I was actually your father. I really would. I mean, I love each one of you. And I just can't tell you how amazed I am at what God is doing in your lives. In this church, we believe God is sovereign. And I believe that you're here because God sovereignly has placed His hand on each one of your lives. Every single one of you. There's a lot of kids in those communities that don't come to church with us, that don't participate on Saturdays. And I honestly believe that every single one of you, God is doing a work in. We've seen a lot of you come to faith. It's just such a joy to work with you. And I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Right? And I just want to say, listen up. You see all these people? See all these people? I got really good news.
What?
They're here for the same reason you are.
Yay!
There's a father. Your heart craves a relationship with a dad. It's something that I can't give you. Something your actual fathers can't give you. It's a relationship with your Father in heaven. And they're here for the same reason. And He loves you better than I can. He cares about you more than I can. He's more faithful than I am. He's more forgiving than I am. He knows every secret place in your heart. And He loves you deeply. And He has a plan for your life. And they're here for the same reason. So church, these are God's kids. These are your kids. Right? See all these people? See all these? This is God's family. Oh, listen up, put him down. Thank you. So I have white hair. So this is God's family. These are your brothers and sisters. Hey, you guys. This is your family. This is your church family. Do you see them? This is your church family. Church, these are your kids. Thank you.
ask if we have any elders or pastors, would you come forward? I want to pray over these kids. So any elders, pastors, if you would come forward. Let's put our arms around these kids, but literally and figuratively. And let me pray over them right now. Let's pray over them together as a church family. Let's go to the Father. Dear Jesus, Lord, you are the one that says to come to you, all those that are weary and heavy laden, and you will give them rest. And Lord, for those that are represented up on the stage this morning, Lord, regardless of what they've been through, regardless of where they've come, Lord, I pray that they encounter Jesus when they come on this campus. That they see people that are captured by Jesus and captured in such a way that they feel the love and the grace and the mercy of Jesus Christ. And out of this group, Lord, would you be so gracious to raise up a generation of God-fearing men and women who love you. God-fearing men and women that will be used for your glory, that will be used for remarkable things, so that we could look back on this day and say, that was the day you started something special. Lord, you are the church, that we are the church, Lord, that has been called by you to go, to be salt of the earth and the light of the world. So as John Hicks said, Lord, may we be the very heart of Jesus to these boys and girls, to let them know that there is hope, to let them know that they are loved, and that more than being loved by the people here at Coral Ridge, let them know they are loved by their Heavenly Father through the power of Jesus Christ. And we pray this in the name that is above all names, even Jesus. And God's people said, Amen.
Amen. Good job, you guys. Good job. All right, go sit down now. Thanks, man.